Good evening, everyone that may or may not be watching this. Welcome to Land Down Under Hangout of number 2 with Lumberjanes Volume 2 and 3. We'll start it off with just a general overview of what we thought. Starting with you, Miss Mel, because you're at the beginning of my screen.
Excellent. Excellent. I love Lumberjanes. Lumberjanes are awesome. And every time I read one of them and they've got the little creed thing at the beginning, I read it out loud because that's the only way it's supposed to be started. I love these ones. I particularly think the first 2 books are very, very good and work well. But I must admit the third one, the change of artists and stuff like that sort of throws me a bit. But I still enjoy them. Oh, and can I just say that I love Mal and
Molly
so much. So much!
Yeah.
That's all.
Karina?
I'll actually be right back, sorry.
That's right.
Well, Xander wants to say hello.
Hi,
Hi, Xander.
You gonna say hello to people?
Get a head home first.
Yeah, he can't hear you, so I'll put it in here. Here you go.
Hi, Xander.
Hello, Xander.
Can you hear everyone? Well, say hello.
Hello.
You're being very shy.
There's a lot of people.
Fake shy.
You gonna go have some stories now with Daddy? Yeah. Okay, so
Yay.
say good night, everyone.
Good night, Xander.
Good night.
I'll come and say good night when you finish your stories. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Kim, do you want to go next?
Yep. I loved them. I've liked them even better than the first one. I liked the first one. I really enjoyed it, but I love these ones even more. And yes, again, Mal and Molly are just the cutest ever.
Jasmine?
Me? Yeah, I really liked them. I just started reading them today. And so I had a lot of catching up to do because I hadn't even read the first volume. So yeah, really, and I don't read a lot of comics, to be honest. I've just been reading novels and books and stuff. So yeah, it was really cute. I love all the pictures. The artists change all the time, so I haven't really. I like the first volume's art. You know what I mean? I think that's really cute and quirky. And then they've got different kind of art in the next volumes. But yeah, it's really good. I like the story and their adventures, and I'll continue reading them. Sold.
Kirsten?
I'm Scout. Lumberjane.
You said that just as I was about to have a sip. No.
Sorry.
I agree with what Kim said. I really liked the first one, but I think I liked these ones better than the first one. I think I got more of a ongoing storyline going on now rather than the first one was. I found with the first one, every time a problem came up, they solved it so quick that you hardly even had time to worry about it. Whereas this, you sort of got this longer plot kind of going, I guess. So, yeah, I really, really liked it. And I was going to read the 4th one today before we had our hangout. And then I picked up my iPad and somebody had drained the battery on it and it wasn't me. So I didn't do that.
Was it young hands or big hands who did that?
That was Xander. Because he watches like ABC Kids streaming stuff on it. And he'll start it and then put the iPad down and walk off, and it'll just keep playing until the iPad dies. And then I'll go to use it and go, damn it. So yeah. Anyway, that was the sidetrack already, but I really liked them a lot, even more than the first one, which I liked as well.
Karina?
Yeah, I really enjoyed them as well. I actually, opposite to Kirsten, I feel like I enjoyed the first one more than I enjoyed these ones. I think because in the second one, I read them like 3 weeks ago because I totally forgot we had a hangout for them, and so half the story has like fallen out of my head by now. But I think it's this one that has the ghost story one in it, and I didn't love that. I thought yeah, it felt very sidetracky and I didn't care. And then once it got back on track, I was much more interested. But overall, yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I didn't enjoy that one.
I'm pretty much the same as Karina, actually. I enjoyed number 1 and kind of and the sort of the end half of number 2. Just that, like, that cumulation of that sort of story arc of getting to the end of that. And I felt like number 3, it was really good, but it just felt a bit like it was just little stories. It didn't feel like it was going anywhere. I don't know. Maybe I'll feel different when I read number 4, which I probably will.
Number
But-
4 picked up the storyline again, so.
But yeah, I just
Well, it
felt
sort of picks up the story. It picks up the story in the middle of 3 again, well, sort of. They're sort of like Mel and Molly have their little own thing, which is a bit I loved. So 3 wasn't all bad. The second half of 3 was really good.
I love
it felt
that
a bit like we have to earn our badge, and I'm like, really? You haven't cared all this time. Why does it suddenly matter now?
I love the pun
Because
bag.
April seems a bit obsessive.
Yes, just a little bit. So
I guess it
overall,
was
it
something
seems like
for them to be Molly and their little
had their
picnic,
adventure.
their date. Their date, I mean their picnic.
In number
Yes,
2,
I like
the little
that.
like between who was it? The other girlfriends, which is not
Joe?
helpful.
Joe.
Yeah. Joe.
Oh, I forgot who else it was.
When they're like trying to work out the anagrams.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's like, I can't work it out. I can't work it out. Smooch. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
it's so cute.
Mm.
So cute.
That was Mel and Molly, right?
No, that was Mel and
Yeah,
Molly
no.
again. Yeah.
It was.
Was
yeah.
it?
Yeah.
I think it's a little one's name. I just read it.
It was there's one in the bunk
I
where Joe
literally
was
just read
blushing.
it like
I
an
can't
hour
remember.
ago.
Yeah. You've already forgotten that bit.
Ripley.
Ripley.
That's it.
Ripley and Joe?
Ripley was so good during, especially that scene with all the dinosaurs. I was just like, go Ripley, go Ripley.
I actually really loved Ripley like getting all of the power. Because
Yes.
they're like, no,
Yeah.
only an immortal can wield that power. I wish that Bubbles had a funny hat.
Yep.
And everyone had a kitten.
Yep. It
Oh,
Yes. She did.
was perfect.
Yeah. I'm a bit like Karina. I read it a while back, and now I can't remember half of it. But as you guys say things, I'm like, oh yeah, I like that. Oh yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I like the little artist, like the artist thing where they came in and did the ghost stories was kind of cute. Although I felt like I was on LSD reading Ripley's.
Mm-mm.
I'm like,
Yeah.
what is with the color and the writing? I'm
It
like,
was really
oh.
hard to focus on Ripley's. I'm like,
With the squiggly writing, yeah.
Yeah, the cursive and the color. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I get the point of doing those sorts of episodes where it's probably the regular artist isn't able to keep up, and so they basically have bring in guest artists so that they have either some catch-up time or a break or something along those lines. I think my thing is I'm like, I prefer you take some time off or something.
Yeah. I
yeah,
agree.
like I would have preferred that they just took some time off to get their stuff together. Because especially with volume 3, like that complete change in art style, like 2 was fairly similar to 1, at least for the majority of it, other than like
Yeah, that
ghost stories at the
consistency.
beginning. But
No,
number
ghost story-
3 was just so different.
No, the ghost stories were in number 3.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's the
Good, yeah.
first half of 3.
All
2
number
was the
3.
second, the continuation of the story, and then 3 was the ghost
Yeah.
stories and Mal and
Molly
Molly's
and-
picnic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
And then,
again,
yeah,
that one,
the Brad
like
thing.
the ghost stories, at least was in. I didn't particularly like it, but I could at least sort of appreciate that it was the style was done because it reflected the different stories being told. But with the
Yeah.
Mal and Molly's picnic story, I was like, I just don't even feel like I'm looking quite at the same characters, and it was weird.
Yeah, it was
Yes, I
very
agree.
off-putting. Like I was like, who's this? Because it's hard enough for me to work out what characters what looking at it with the regular drawing. Whereas, like, when it's all being drawn by someone else, it's not that it was bad drawing. It was just that I could not, like, my brain was just like, who's that character? Who's that character?
Yep. But it's funny because at the same time, those little drawings they have at the end where they've got, like, they're not part of the story, but they're just drawings of the whole crew and things. I really enjoy the different styles in those ones. I don't like it in the actual storyline.
Although I think my favorite part of all of them was when they first worked out that her hat was a real life raccoon.
Yes. It's like, what, didn't you know? We were being really obvious about it. You were.
I'm like, did I miss
that was
that? I
awesome.
feel like maybe I missed that.
I was tempted to go back and see if there were any hints about it, but I didn't get around.
I don't think it was, because I read the first one because that was pretty early, I think, in the second one that they did that.
Oh, it was like really early in the second one.
And so when I reread the first one for the last hangout, I didn't really notice anything along those lines. So I think that it's a case of, for me, I kind of thought it was a reference to Mal and Molly's relationship, where it was like, but we've been so obviously like dating, like it's so clear. How did you not notice it?
Yeah.
They were blushing in the first one when she saved her life. Is that right?
Yeah. Whereas in the second one, like it was extremely blatantly obvious that those two are together. In the first one, it's just little things like the hand holding and stuff like that, but all of it could be excused away as just really close friends.
Well, and if you're not really
I saw it
close,
straight away.
if you don't look at the pictures really closely, because Matt's always telling me off about that when I read comics, that I don't spend enough time on the pictures, and that because I'm very word focused. I'm word focused. I'm dialogue focused. When I read a normal book, I find it like I have to make myself make sure I read all the words, and if I'm not enjoying a book, or if I'm trying to get through it quickly because I want to get to the next exciting part, then I kind of skim over the description sort of bits, and I focus in on the dialogue. So even though I really enjoy the art in comics, I do have to kind of make sure that I look at it, and because otherwise my eyes jump straight to the dialogue.
Yeah.
I had the same problem because I don't really read a lot of comics, and I was focusing so much on those little speech bubbles. I'm like, I'm missing the pictures because they give little things that are happening that you need to visualize.
And that's one of the reasons I like reading like webcomics and being involved with the fan sites of webcomics, because like with Check Please, they'll, after new releases, they'll actually analyze the images and they'll notice things that I never pick up on. But there's so many of those little details that I don't see.
So you're going to hand it to the artists because they probably are given something totally different, like to portray, to project onto their images instead of,
But this is why it's a shame that like schools, like we teach visual literacy in English class at high school, but they don't teach it in, they don't teach comics when they do it. They just do other places like advertising and movies and things like that. But I'm like, comics is a fantastic space for teaching visual literacy, where they've combined the two types of literacy, and if they complement each other.
Yeah, they do. Picture books. I really like comics now, and I want to get my son a lot more. We've got a few, but I've never collected, so this is something that we'll do from now on.
If you want a Japanese manga one, Conan the Boy Detective is a good one.
Okay. All right, I'll add it to the list. The list is going. Boy Detective,
I hear people rave about that because it's been around for a long time now. It's a very long series.
Yeah, very long.
And they rave about like reading it when they were kids, or watching the show on TV, but like reading it.
Well, that's one of the reasons I recommend it, is because there's a sheer volume of it too. Like so many things now, when you recommend it, they're going to run out really quick, and then you're like, okay, well, what's next? But at least with Conan, if they get obsessed with it, it's like there's heaps. It's going on forever.
Yep, you got the show and you got the manga.
Yep.
The anime and the manga.
See, this is what happens when we all really like it.
Yeah, there's not much to talk about.
We all say, yeah, we really liked it. And then
Okay, well, let's talk about Jen and how awesome she turned out to be in the second book. Like, in the first book, she's a bit of a drag, but in the second book, she's like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I'm doing it anyway, and I'm helping you out.
Yeah,
oh, yeah,
It's pretty awesome.
when she jumps in front of, is it Joe that she jumps in front of?
Ripley,
Joe,
I
yeah.
think. Oh, no, it is Joe, yeah.
Yeah, Joe.
This is the raptor
Ripley's
scene.
off wrangling
Yeah,
raptors.
in front of Joe to stop the raptor. And Joe's like, what's the plan? And she's like, I thought adrenaline would take over. I don't know.
It didn't.
I regret this decision.
I actually reread that today, and when I read it, I went out and I showed it to Nye, and it said, this kind of scene is when you know you're reading a good comic. And I only showed him that panel. That's it, just that panel.
So many good parts. I'm trying to get it back up, but it's not letting me.
Yeah, she kind of felt like she was part of the group in the second one, rather than an outsider, didn't she?
Well, I think she starts being shown on the covers. I'm going to look now, but yeah, she's on the cover of the fourth book.
Yeah, she's on the cover of the second one. She's sort of in the background, but she's on the second one.
Oh, yeah, she is too. She's not on the third one, but she's on the cover of the fourth and the fifth one as well, but she's in the background of the fifth. So there's a thing I want to talk about that it's in the future books, but like I can't talk about it because it's a spoiler from the future books, but I really want to talk about it.
See, this is why I tried to get to the fourth one before this hangout, just in case, but
well, I'd actually forgotten about it until I listened to, I posted it the other day. There's a podcast I listened to where they're talking about Nimona, and they just reference briefly Lumberjanes as being a good read, and they talk about this one thing briefly, like it's 2 sentences. And I remembered and I went, oh shit, yes, that. And then I was like, oh fuck, we can't talk about it.
You should have said something. I would have read number 4 today.
Same.
yeah.
It's not really a plot spoiler. It's just a character spoiler, if that makes sense. It's something you don't know about them. So, I don't know. I could just say
I already know what you're talking about.
I'm not a huge, I don't stress too much about spoilers, so.
I live on
everybody else
Tumblr.
doesn't
I
care.
live on spoilers, so.
Oh yeah, if you're on Tumblr, yeah.
Well, if everybody's okay, I can say it and then we can talk about it.
Okay.
Does anybody have a question?
I read 4.
Okay. So it turns out Joe's actually trans.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Transgender.
That is what I thought you were going to say.
Yeah, of course it was. And I'm just like, because actually the reason this first of all became something big for me, because when the podcast talked about it, they referenced Mal as being trans, and I'm like, no, that undermines a whole relationship that was really well established as a lesbian relationship. But that's not okay. Don't you dare do that.
Did they just get the wrong character, or?
And I got the wrong character because I spent a whole heap of time going, hang on a tick, I don't remember that. What? And then I found out it was Joe, and I was like, oh, God, that makes so much more sense. Because if you go back and look at a lot of the artwork of Joe, you can see signs of it in how Joe's been drawn.
I think when I was reading 3, I actually thought that she looked a lot more male. Like she had more male characteristics than the other girls.
Yeah.
But so that doesn't surprise me at
She was
all.
tall and lanky, though, so.
Yeah, I just thought she was tall and lanky. I didn't think anything of it. And
They're of that age where some, like, you know, you're going through, like, some girls get all tall and gangly kind of thing.
that's right.
Yeah.
But there's a picture at the end of the second book, one of those, you know, just sort of one-off pictures.
Yeah, I think it was around there.
Page
Is it this one, the one with the eye?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that's the one I was looking at, and I actually thought that she does have very male characteristics.
That's very much Noel Stevenson's way of drawing males.
Mm.
But at the same time,
It's still got the broadness, I think,
and the waist is skinny.
yeah, chiseled face. Yeah.
Yeah. But at the same time, what I really liked is that they always drew her neutrally enough that you never really thought of it. And it's only in reflection that you sort of go, oh, hang on a tick. There's been little clues of that, but not in a way that was anywhere blatant. And it makes the reread really interesting.
I didn't even really, well, I suppose it did cross my mind, but I didn't put my finger on it. They didn't give it away, though, in the volume, though, did they?
I think it's in...
Are you talking about the cover for volume 6? Is that what you mean? The one is
No, 4.
Is that-
Did you say 4?
no issue 6? Sorry, not
Issue
volume
6, yeah, that's issue 6.
Okay. I know.
That's covered.
Right, yeah.
Issue 6, yeah.
Okay, cool. I can't wait. I've only read up to volume 4, so
This is in the volume 2, like in the back of volume 2.
Yeah, in the back of
Okay.
volume 2, because each
It's got the
volume
cover
has, I
gallery.
think, 4 issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's 5, 6, 7, 8.
That one.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome as a poster.
Oh, I know. I'd love that one as a poster.
Yeah.
Because it's very simple. It really frames them very well. You can see them all very clearly, but it still suggests of the storyline behind it without giving details.
Mm.
Maybe check it out as a poster. Maybe I should just find it online and
I'm
print it.
interested in reading Giant Days as well.
Yeah, the one that's in the back of 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks good.
That looks good. And they had like a little segment somewhere, didn't they?
Yeah.
I had so many comics to read, though.
I know.
So many.
I bought a Humble Comics bundle before, and now I've bought that recent Humble Comics bundle.
I know. I've just bought it, and I'm like, I'm never going to be able to read all these. It's just never going to happen. Along with all the books that I've bought recently, and my Lud books, and my Lud comics, and if we do movies or TV or whatever, I still haven't watched Stranger Things.
No,
I'm so screwed.
Well, and that getting humble bundles and like free Kindle books is a bit of a trap too, because I've bought so many that I've just gone, oh yeah, that'll be really good, and I'll buy that, and then they all sit on my Kindle, and I'm like, that's not going to happen.
And the other thing is, when it's on my when it's digital, I'm like, it doesn't exist. Like that there is my to read list.
Yeah.
Plus the 3 books that are on my desk. But I've got all those there, plus 3 on my desk, and I'm like, and that's not even my Lud books. That's like, and it's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's too many books. I mean, that's a lie. It's not.
I don't count anything like my computer ebook library, because so many of those things were free, and I don't even know anything about half of them. And it's like they don't count because I probably won't read them ever. I'm probably not interested in them. I just went, oh, this is free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't count. They don't count.
I only mean books that you like went out and purchased.
Yes.
If you purchase them digitally, because they're digital, you don't really think about it until you go and look at your digital purchases, and then you're like, oh yeah, I bought that book.
That's why I try not to buy digital books until I actually intend to read it, because I will forget they're there.
But the Humble bundle was such a good deal.
A lot of books I buy digitally are just my Lud books, unless I look at the cover and go, I want to own that.
Yeah.
I usually buy them digitally.
I don't buy a lot of digital ones anymore, because if I can't get it at the library now.
Well, I mean, I'm just getting to the point now where I have all these books, and I've got no space to put any more books, and I'm like, if I ever want to if I ever go on a trip or go on holidays or whatever, my digital books will be right there in my phone. But my books on my shelf, I can't take all my books on my shelf.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been kind of doing a thing of, if it's something that's really pretty, I want the physical copy. If it's something I either don't know if I'm going to like it, or I know I'm probably only going to read once, or it's nothing special, then I try to get it from the library. So and that's the sort of books that I used to get in digital, and now I sort of I just get them from the library instead because I'm cheap.
Or you do what I do. I got this one from the library. It's been on my to read and I've been really interested for ages. I got 20 pages in and I happened to go to the city and I bought a copy because I was like, I want that.
That's how I feel
Done
about
it.
that.
It's a good way to test out a book.
Yeah.
I suppose you can do it with Kindle.
Doesn't cost me anything.
Well, I mean, I got the first 4 volumes of Saga digitally from my library, so it was free.
I got
No,
told
I
to
wish I'd done
that.
in my library. I have hardly anything digital.
Jasmine, what did you say?
I just said I wish we had more digital stuff
Oh, yeah.
in our
me too.
library.
Especially
They have. I'm pretty sure, going from looking through the list that they have, the stuff that they've got digital is just stuff they got for free. The same like when I first got my Kindle and bought a bunch of free stuff because it was free.
Mine's just got what I would consider basic packages from like whatever digital tool they're using, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Jasmine, what did you say?
Oh, Saga, I'd like to read that.
Oh, do read that. Really good.
Yes. Highly recommended.
Shall.
Yeah,
I'm going to
I
go
was
to the
just-
city and check out some comic book stores.
I was just really
It's like
disappointed
nothing.
because they only have volume 5 in German digitally. I'm like,
Yeah.
what? Why?
Yes.
Why do you only have that? And it's only volume 5 it's only volume 5 that they have in German. Like they don't have the rest of them in German. I think they just made a mistake when purchasing and they bought this digital version. Like they've bought volume 5 of Saga in German. And then
That's
everything else is
ridiculous.
in English. Because I'm like, I want to read it. Give it to me.
Can you do it? If you've got the Humble Bundle, did you get volume 5 in that, or was that from another bundle I got?
I don't think I've got Saga in
thought it
that.
I thought the Humble Bundle had volume 1 of Saga because I remember looking at it and thinking, I already have that.
Yeah, I don't know which one's from which.
You pay for that.
$25. It has book 1, which is issue 1
so
to
my
18.
first one must have had volume 5. The first, yeah, I bought 2. I bought, Image Comics bundle last January. So I bought one last January and this January. So last January they had 4 and 5.
That's pretty decent.
I owned 4, but I didn't have 5, and I haven't read 5 yet. I've read 4 now. I'm going to read 5 now, but I've got a digital version now. That only cost me $20, and I got so many. And just the ones, like, some of the ones that I wanted to read were in that image bundle this year. And I'm like, well, 2 or 3 of those digitally, if I bought those digitally, equal for $25. So
Yeah,
by the pack.
that's the thing. Like, I was like, with the amount of comics that are in that bundle that I do want to read, it's more than the $25 that would be if I bought them digitally, and let alone if I decide I want them in a because I don't often buy comics digitally. So
yeah, I'd rather hold them, but
this is my problem, is that I always buy them digitally because I do actually enjoy the Comixology app and how it presents things.
But it's not through Comixology app, is it?
Well,
No,
that's
no,
probably
they just
comics
digital
they
version,
don't go that way. And then added to that, the fact is that like sometimes you buy one that you love so much, you definitely want the physical one, but then you are sad because you can't, like you've already paid for it, which is how I feel about Nimona, because I'm like, I would love to own a copy of Nimona, but I already paid for it.
See, I haven't read Nimona because I couldn't get a digital copy, and I was going to buy a paper copy, and I just haven't got around to buying the paper copy. Where did you get the digital copy from?
It was on
not on Comixology.
Yeah, now that's the interesting thing. It is on Kindle, but it works the same as Comixology, so you can have it on there. And I just read it on the Kindle app on my phone, so it's in color rather than on the Kindle. My actual Kindle.
Okay, I'll have to have a look in there because I looked in Comixology and it wasn't there, and I was like, oh bugger, I'll have to buy the paper copy. And then
now that's the interesting thing,
around to doing that.
Because Comixology is now owned by Amazon. It now shows up in my Comixology app that I own it.
Really? Because I tried not that long ago, because not when we did the Hangout for it, but recently, because I was like, oh, I missed out on reading it for the Hangout, but I still really do want to read it. And I went looking for it, and I still can't. It's still not on the Comixology app. It's stupid.
It might not be on the Comixology app, but as long as you're using your Amazon app with Comixology, once you actually purchase it, it appears on the Comixology app now. It didn't initially when they first did the merger, and I was like, well, that should happen now, right? It took a while, but it did come up eventually. So, but it worked. It doesn't matter if you buy it on the Kindle version. It works on the Kindle the same way. Because Nemona's very square. It's the most of the panels are almost the same size all the time. It just scans through them, so it does do the same Comixology way of reading things in the Kindle version as well as the Comixology app. But it's a different reading experience because unlike with the other comics where you go in and you go out and you do like all of that, this one doesn't do that very much because it is really very square.
Cool. Well, I might have to try that then. I might have to get the Kindle one, although
I will say this, you're going to love it. You probably want to share it. I'd say buy the physical copy.
I was just thinking, well,
Yeah,
I think the reason I didn't buy the physical copy, like I never got time to read it when you guys did the hangout. And then the last time I looked at going, oh, I'm going to get the physical copy was just before the Christmas books. And I had it on my wish list, and I was like, oh, I'm not buying it before Christmas in case I get it for Christmas. And then I thought, if I don't get it for Christmas, I'm going to buy it after Christmas. And then stuff happened, and I forgot. And
it's actually reasonably priced on Book Depository.
yeah, that's the thing. It's not hugely that much more expensive to buy it than the digital copy was anyway. To buy a physical copy.
I was hoping Faith was going to be on special, but it's not.
Rude. I still haven't worked out if I've got that at my library.
I remember thinking about buying it. Did I buy it?
I keep going back and checking, hoping it's on special.
Yeah, I think I did buy it because I remember feeling bad about spending that much money.
Does anyone shop on Booktopia?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
occasionally. Only when they've got free shipping.
Oh, I use Booko. If you use
Yeah.
Booko and you go from the Booko website, you always get free shipping.
Yeah,
Booko.
that's what I do too.
Booko, B-O-O-K, so book with an O on the end.com.au. Basically, you can search ISBNs or books and it'll tell you what site is the cheapest. And you can click through. So if you click through to Booktopia, it'll give you free shipping every time.
Brilliant. Booko.
Yep.
That's Australian price.
It's the best because then it'll give you the prices for every single site and put them in price order for you.
So I know we've gone well off topic now, but I just want to mention that the whole capture the flag sequence and how the girls were so completely dramatic on it, it was just the best. It's hilarious.
It reminded me of the Big Bang Theory when they were really serious about the paintballing situation. I didn't get why what was that main girl? The one that Molly had to give her bow up.
The one who's Artemis.
Diana.
That's right, yeah. Molly
Yeah.
used it and she didn't say anything. Did she? Like, if you go back to her, she didn't say anything to Molly. Like, hey, that's my bow, bitch.
Oh, you mean right at the beginning?
Yeah.
That's because she
Then
had
she's
been
like,
taken over by then or something on those lines. Like something happened after.
So she wasn't Artemis, or not Artemis.
I'm not actually sure on that. I felt very vague on it because something happens after the dino attack where she sees the eye and then suddenly
she kooky.
Yeah, it goes all creepy and everything. And so it's weird. But at the same time, Diana disappears at the end of the story. So I don't know whether...
I thought that was quite funny that they made her name Diana because Diana is the goddess of the hunt. So Cole and Aris is the same character in different mythologies.
Yep.
And Apollo, her twin. But then where did her twin? So her twin found an eye as well, or is it just coincidence?
Well, Apollo was using the eyes to control all the boys.
So
Yeah,
they were sort of like his voodoo charm. All the boys had everything that had that eye on him, on them was controlled by Apollo.
Yeah. So it was all the eye thing was was a little vaguish, like in the story plot. I felt like it was a little bit plot holish, but I just didn't care because I was having so much fun anyway.
It was. I really enjoyed it.
And I love the way there's sort of Rosie's all mysterious, and that's sort of obviously going to be a bigger plot point and stuff. So
I was looking up Lumberjanes, and apparently Rosie is a reference to Rosie Riverdale.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Rosie the Riveter,
That's
yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, the tattoos and the
World War
I was
II.
like, oh, yeah,
Oh,
Yeah,
Rosie.
which is like that one.
All the women that worked on, I don't know, weapons, I suppose.
Like, yeah, in the,
Well, they did all sorts of stuff.
yeah, ammunition factories and so forth, yeah.
Yeah.
But they also did a bunch of stuff like keeping things running because all the men that had left. So it wasn't just munitions. And
So it was
things like
all the
that.
factories and all the men's
Yeah.
work, all the big factories where the women would never be allowed to work.
Kind of a
And then they will have to go back to being housewives once the men came back from
And they're
war.
like, no, I'm not going to take that bullshit.
Yeah. Put me back in the workforce, please.
Yeah.
I actually feel like these comics would be particularly good to do with young girls as a feminist reading.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty empowering, if that's what you... Yeah.
Well, from the empowering factor, but also from reading all of the just little historical elements like that they've tied into things. Like,
yeah. Well, I didn't pick up on it, but I was just like, oh, yeah, of course.
Some of them I did, some of them I didn't.
Well, they say Joan Jett, and Joan Jett was a bit of a,
Yeah.
was a bit of a breakthrough rock star, wasn't she?
it's so much fun.
Yeah, I want to get
there's
some for our library.
as well. Betty?
But
Betty? Cole?
But I don't have a budget yet. I haven't been
right.
told how much money I'm allowed to spend. So unless I
That's
can
funny.
get them,
I know where my library buys its comics from now. The local comic book store in the city, because it's got their price tag on there. Pulp Fiction Comics is a comic book store, like what the big comic book store in the city, one of the first ones, and they still got their price tag on the front of the book. Like they've contacted the book and everything, but they didn't take the price tag.
oh, they contacted it as well.
Yeah, so it's still, because it's a library, they've done the spine contact and the barcode and everything, but they didn't take the price tag off.
Obviously,
That's hilarious.
when you've got a
Often
huge
$20.
stack to do, you just miss one.
Yeah.
Especially because the price tag's usually on the back, so if they were picking off price
And
tags
it's
and
just
that
one
one
of
was
those
on the
little,
front, they didn't see it.
little store tags, the little price gun tags, rather than like a big sticker.
Speaking of which, pet hate of now my new librarian job, effing
I'll pull it off
shops that stick their own barcode over the top of the ISBN barcode, and I have to pick it off before I can scan the book's ISBN. I'm like, I want to stab somebody. Whoever did this, I want to stab you.
I feel that way, just going in and like wanting to into bookstores and wanting to use the Goodreads app to scan the book to, look it up and stuff. I'm like, why are you covering up the ISBN? I want to use that.
Yeah.
So annoying.
So apparently I can't get Faith from either of my libraries. So
Oh, that's right. I don't think.
Yeah,
I
I
can
tried
get
to get it from my library, and it was like.
I think
no.
I
looked
looked
up the
at
word
the price,
faith, and it was like.
I looked at the paper copy price compared to the digital version. The paper copy isn't much more expensive.
No,
I reckon.
but all my stuff's digital, so I'll probably get it digital anyway.
Yeah, I got it digital. Not just that, but also it's straight away. I don't have to wait for it to get delivered. And
Well, that's why I haven't purchased it yet, because I'm like, well, I'm not going to read it yet. So, there's still a couple of weeks. It could go on special.
if it does, I'm going to be mad now.
Don't worry, I will remember to tell you, Kirsten, that I got it on special if I manage to.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
I was just going to say, this month is my last month that I'm getting a Loot Crate. And I've been thinking about what I could do instead of that sort of thing, because I'm just finding that I'm just getting stuff that I'm not interested in. I just realized I could get the Comixology Unlimited for $6 a month.
Oh, I've looked at that and thought about it.
I mean, it's $6 American, so that's like, what, $7.50, $8?
It's actually a really good
not
point.
Too bad.
When you consider, like, if we are going to be reading a comic a month, for that price, that covers it.
I don't know if all of their I don't think all of their comics are on Unlimited. But
no, I don't think they are. But most of the ones that I've tried to buy
ones are.
Yeah.
Because we're sort of looking at, a lot of the ones we're looking at are sort of set up series that are already going kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, the series is already set up and they're sort of at volume 3 or 4. Volume 1 is on Unlimited.
Yep. Well, that's cheaper than Audible, and Audible you only get one book a month. Not that I have time to listen to more than one.
Well, Audible is the problem with Audible is that it does actually take a long time to produce a book. Like,
that's true.
Behind it.
Not only that, it then takes a long time to get someone to read that book. Because it's like usually like a good sized novel is like what, 80 hours of talking? Like it's not a quick listen.
No, it's
most of the ones I've done are about 11 hours.
Okay.
Most books.
Like
Midnight Robber is 11 hours.
Exaggerating.
Nearly 12 hours.
Yeah.
God, I'd never get
an odd one which has been like 15 and stuff. But I think I really lost my tolerance for audiobooks. I want to listen to them, but I just can't seem to.
I've got Black Dagger Brotherhood on audio. That is awkward.
No, I was going to say I can't do. I'm bad enough with Midnight Robber and some of the stuff that's happened in it, and I'm like, I don't need to hear this out loud.
I'm reading it at the moment, and I suppose we can't discuss it until next week. Sorry, I'm not saying.
Yeah,
it's a week after next, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 2 weeks away.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Yeah, because I was like, I'm cutting it fine. It takes
I'm struggling to get into it. That's all.
It took me a while to get into it too, but I would suggest try to stick it out because I'm really enjoying it now.
Okay, cool. I will.
And it took me a while to get used to the narrator in the audiobook because she's got this really, I suppose, Jamaican kind of accent.
Yeah, it is.
And
I'm
like,
kind of like Jamaican accent, isn't it?
Which suits the book so well. It's really, really good. But it took me a while to get used to listening to it. And now I'm really, really glad of it because it sort of gives it an authenticity, I suppose. Like words that if I had been reading it, I would have pronounced wrong.
I might give the audiobook a try then, if you recommend it. Where'd you get
it? But it took me a while to get into it too, even with the audiobook, because it took me a while to get used to it.
So, Naomi, I was just looking at Faith, and Volume 2 is out, but Volume 3 is not going to be out until June. So if we end up liking the first one, we'll only be able to do one volume for the following month.
Well, it's up to you guys. We can talk about it next time as well, like see how we go with it.
See how we
like it.
Yeah.
Like if we're really excited about it, we can
postpone until another month to do the 2 volumes or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of Faith, does anyone else think, I know we're jumping the gun to a one that we're not doing today, but does anyone else think her outfit looks like a Starfleet uniform?
It does a bit in terms of it's got that black on the top. It doesn't quite go over the shoulders the way it should, but it's got that symbol.
No, I know, but it's not exactly the same. But the first thing I thought when I saw it was like, why is she wearing a Star Trek uniform?
I might just close this up so we can go off live and then we can
okay. Can I mention one last thing?
Yeah, of course.
So the whole Malamoli series stories, the funny thing is last hangout, not everybody was here. I was complaining about how they draw the noses with the 3 little beep, beep, beep.
Oh, yeah.
I can't say how weirded out I am when they stopped doing it. Despite the fact that it annoyed the hell out of me, once they stopped doing it, it was just weird, and I just couldn't stop looking at the noses the whole time. I just spent the whole story going, noses, noses, noses everywhere. Yes, that's the way she draws the noses.
That art style in that one where they're in the like they go through that portal thing and all the dinosaurs and stuff.
Yeah.
Reminded me of Betty and Veronica comics. I used to read Betty and Veronica comics when I was young, and it kind of reminds me of those, like, you know, the Archie comics.
Picasso nose, isn't it?
Why was there a particular reason that?
I don't know. It just, that's what it made me think of.
Okay.
Where's the, oh, it's
See, Betty and Veronica just need to do a whole Avatar, the new Avatar one, and just end up with the girls together at the end. Seriously.
So basically, guys, if you made it this far, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed our chat, and I'll see you next time.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.